Hello everyone, I thought I'd do a more formal update after I've now been home for 2 nights from my VSG surgery. Or for my stay at the hospital. I had it done on Thursday. It is currently the Monday after. The last video I uploaded showed me my immediate reaction. I say immediate, it was like 11 p.m, but it was the reaction on the day of what the surgery felt like and what the first maybe, pardon me, like first 10 hours or so felt like after surgery. Um, I was still groggy from the anesthesia, although I am going to agree with myself on what I said regarding the pain. To recap here, for those who don't want to go and watch 25 minutes of me chatting, I went in at 7 a.m. I was then wheeled to theatre at 11 a.m. I don't actually know what time. I'm guessing around 12:30. I was in recovery, and I had excruciating pain at like the lower left part of my stomach. The abdominal area, lower left part, just above the groin, basically. And I didn't. I was mentally prepared for there being some pain. Everyone had said about gas being the worst pain, like worse than a C-section, worse than this, worse than that, the most excruciating pain you can ever imagine. And that was what I was expecting in terms of like the most pain that I had. It wasn't. It took until not that day, but the next morning for me to find out that it was. I had to have a hiatus hernia, I think, removed, and that contributed to the pain. But it was just general post-op trauma that I wasn't like mentally prepared for, because I assumed in my head that I'd be wheeled out of recovery or wheeled out of the operating room into recovery, and then I just start on pain medication. And I just remember when I come to, I just woke up and then was like, ah, 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 like that. I it seemed to take forever for the medication to kick in. I don't know what they initially put me on medication wise, but it took, I would say, about an hour into the recovery. Did they finally start giving me like some really high strength tramadol? It felt torturous. I was just sat there like, why didn't you just give me the tramadol? I was thinking I didn't want to abuse people or say anything. I was in too much pain to be annoyed. But I am just sat there thinking, why did I not just get some decent pain relief straight away? Not one of my videos that I've watched have really spoken about this. And it could just be the way the hospital operated. It could be an issue with getting the drugs there quickly. Maybe they needed like some sort of sign off. But it was like trying to deal with like a gunshot wound or a broken leg with some over-the-counter paracetamol, like for the first hour, what it felt like. But as soon as the tramadol was put into me, oh, magically, the pain just disappears. It really is quite something. It got to the point where I was in a very comfy position, and they basically said, do you want to go back to your room now? And I'm like, yeah. Again, I went to the room and the tramadol wore off, and I again went through the same process. An issue that I had was my room. It is the winter, but I was sweating profusely through my body just not being able to deal with what was happening. I had people coming in with like towels washing my face down. I had 2 nurses like fanning me. They brought in an electrician, 3 of them actually, to try and remove the vents that were above the radiator, to basically turn the radiators off, because it's all a centralized system. So you can't independently control the rooms, and they couldn't fix it. And I was just in agony again, stressing the point that, oh my fucking god, I'm in so much pain. Please, please, please do something, please. Um, about 45 minutes later, a doctor came in. He was obviously busy doing something else, probably in theatre or something. He prodded my stomach a bit, and he went, "Is this causing you any discomfort? Is this causing you discomfort?" And he pressed on the area at the bottom left of my stomach, like ever so slightly, and it just felt like burning. And he just then didn't say anything else. He walked out of the room. I guess he didn't want to discuss what the next steps were in front of me. And 10-15 minutes later, they signed off more tramadol for me. And oh, I'm so grateful for that. Because my God, at this point, remember, I was out of surgery about 12:30. I was in recovery for about 2 hours. You know, by about 7 p.m., I felt like content. And I felt, all right, this is manageable. So what next? I've got the gas to worry about. Everyone's told me it's the worst thing. Didn't feel any gas pain at all. Oh, I guess the tramadol initially helped because the long-lasting effect of tramadol. But even the next 36 hours didn't really feel any gas pain. It was a mild discomfort. I would keep burping. You just feel gas moving around inside you, but that's about it. Yeah. I didn't feel it, really. It didn't put me off. Like, what stopped me from sleeping? I was going to say, the gas pain didn't stop me from sleeping. I did plenty of walking. I didn't actually do any walking on the first day. I did no physiotherapy because of the trauma I was dealing with. But the second day, I walked probably around this pretty big ward for about 4 hours that day. I must have done about 3 to 4 miles of walking, to the point where they're like, you might want to go back to your room and just relax for a bit. That helped with the gas, but by the time the end of the second day, there was no gas feeling at all. So I've seen a few people who've done instant reaction videos, as soon as they're wheeled out of recovery and they're in their little bay, they're in their room, and they're able to hold a phone up. I bought a selfie stick on purpose because I thought, based on everyone else's videos that's ever been made, it seems, where they've done a live reaction or an instant reaction after surgery, they've all had a little selfie stick and they've all been able to just talk, and it's as if there's no pain and no problem. I never used the selfie stick once. If I live streamed anything, I would have, or I recorded a video, it would have just been me not screaming, but strongly suggesting I need pain medication as quickly as humanly possible. So yeah, that first day was actually mildly traumatic for that reason. Maybe to do with the hernia, because it wasn't just the stomach that came out, there was also the hernia that wasn't expected. But my God, that even now I'm getting flashbacks to that, and I basically don't want to go through that ever again. I'd expect I'll probably go through it again if I have a major accident and I need immediate medical help, but I just, that was bad, really bad. Not playing this up for the camera. It was bad, but things got better. As I said, the next day felt right as rain. I was still a bit wobbly on my feet, probably from the tail end of the anesthesia. At that point, I was just on paracetamol and some ibuprofen. I was just counting down the hours till I could go home at that point. One thing that, pardon me, one thing that made the whole stay even more difficult was the night before surgery. I hardly slept. I probably went to bed or fell asleep at about 3 a.m. and I got up at 6:15. Luckily, I'd packed everything from the night before, but I snoozed through without even realizing. Like 10 of my alarms, I'd set one for every like 5 minutes from like 5:15 onwards to get up because I had to be there for 7. Luckily, I was there with my mum, who she snoozed through quite a few of hers, and at 6:15 she came and knocked on my door and said, "Are you Are you good?" And I'm like, "Holy cow! Thank you for that. That would have been awkward if I was late." But yeah, so I had lack of sleep before I went there. The whole first night, pain, incision pain, doctors and nurses coming in every 2 hours to check me, to do the blood pressure on my arm, the thing on my finger, to take blood tests, to give me medication. So even if I wanted to sleep and recover, I wasn't allowed to. So my entire stay was basically dogged by uncomfortable bed, feeling uncomfortable, and being interrupted every 2 hours. It was almost like you hear about these stories from like Guantanamo Bay where people are put in a room with the light on and someone comes and knocks on the door every 15 minutes just to basically just ruin you mentally so you don't ever fall asleep. And if you don't answer them, you're in deep trouble, blah, blah. It felt a bit like that. That's me being quite dramatic, but oh man, I would have murdered? No. I'd have loved to have just had like 12 hours sleep after that first night. Just go, right, night 2, I'm just going to sleep 12 hours, but wasn't allowed. I was allowed a maximum of like an hour and 40 minutes until a doctor came in. So yeah. But yeah, I made it home on the Saturday. At 10 a.m. on the Saturday, I made it very clear I wanted to go ASAP. I packed up all my stuff. I was harassing them to call the porter and to let me go home because I felt ready to go. Got home. I had my first glass. As you can see, that's basically glass. I basically fill this up to about 3/4, and it takes me about an hour or more to drink. But I remember having my first glass when I got back the first few hours, and it's like, yeah, I'm used to drinking this slowly. That's fine. And then I remember having my first meal, which is a pureed meal. It was spaghetti bolognese. I remember it tasting magnificent. For a pureed meal, it was magnificent. But I could only eat like 2 teaspoons. And I had to try again later and have another couple of teaspoons. Now I could probably do, like today, 4 days post-op. 5 days post-op? 4 days. I was able to, pardon me, I was able to do more like 8 to 10 teaspoons without any resistance, which is quite something. I basically, after doing about 5 or 6, I thought, I'm going to take more tiny teaspoons here and see if I start getting resistance. And I did, and I knew to stop. I knew then to stop. But yeah, I'm going to be on this diet now for at least 2 weeks. I'm 5 days in. So there's another 9 days to go. And I can start moving up in the world and doing semi-solid stuff. Not solid, literally, but, you know.
According to Fuse.com, Minneapolis band Semisonic, best known for their alternative...
Alexa, shut up. Hey, she listened. I don't know what I said to start that. I definitely didn't say the A word. But yeah, all good. I had a consultation today with one of the nurses who works for the surgeon. She's really pleased with everything I've said. She's told me, she basically politely said to enjoy the fact that I could eat and drink at the same time at the moment. Because it's just little liquids. So I'm enjoying that part at the moment. Knowing that won't last forever. But yeah, we're coming up to Christmas. Obviously, I'm a single guy as it is, so I'm going to be home alone. My mum has already cooked me enough meals to last me. She didn't realise how small my portions would need to be. She's probably done about 6 months' supply of pureed food. Bless her. So I've got all manner of stuff: cheese and beans, beef stew. There's a chicken soup she made. Yeah, incredible. But yeah, I'm gonna stop regularly uploading until we get to. I'll probably do an official 1 week update with weight. Although I could do the weight now, as like last time I checked, which was yesterday. I'm still checking like every day because why the hell not? I'm not about to have a mental breakdown if I don't lose weight on a single day because I'm going through the mending process and it's going to take time. But I was 22 stone 7 pounds. Oh, pardon me. And my pre-op weight the day I started my pre-op diet was 25. Gassy tonight. That's something I've actually noticed. The more I talk, the more gassy I get in general. It just feels like indigestion. I haven't eaten anything for the last 3 hours. I've just been drinking my water, but I still get this gassy feeling. And I think my breath is horrendous. I was warned of that might happen, as I don't know the legit reason, but I guess it's to do with burning of fat and my stomach's working overtime, my liver's working overtime, burning this fat. So I need to buy some Listerine strips because I don't think I can even have mints or whatever. But yeah, I'll do a 1 week update. Oh yeah, anyway, where was I? 25 stone and 2 pounds, and I was down to 22 stone 8, which is a substantial drop to the point where I can't show it on this because where my camera's positioned on top of my computer. This 5XL t-shirt that I bought specifically for surgery is already incredibly baggy, which is pretty nice. But yeah, I won't bore you anymore. I'll do a 1 week, a 2 week, a month, a 3 month, a 6 month, a 12 month video. Because I think it'd be cool to check in and keep up to date with that. For the 1 week checkup, seeing as I've just made this long video, I'm also going to go over how I got this surgery for £2,400 in the UK privately. How I got a 75% discount and how you too could potentially get it if that's something you wanted to do. So we'll do a quick 1 week checkup and then talk about how to get it heavily discounted. But for now, I appreciate you listening in. Any questions, queries you've got, hit me up in the messages. I will reply to everybody. And if you're going on this journey, just take what I say with a pinch of salt. I took what other people said with a huge pinch of salt because at times it sounded like having just physically chopping off your own leg sounded more appealing than how some people were describing weight loss surgery. So take it all with a pinch of salt. Everyone's different, etc., etc. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you later.